All right, welcome to another episode of the KAWmedy Krow Podcast, episode 21, I think it is.
That's
20.
so hard to believe.
It's 21. No, 20. Yeah, it's 20. Our guest today is Dacoda Miracle.
Thank
Give it up for yeah.
Caw. Is that what you guys do?
The echo.
Yeah.
And then we also have the wonderful and lovely Amy Quirk right here, the love of my life. I love her so much, and I'll never stop saying that. I don't care if you want to leave a comment and tell me to stop. I won't, because I love her. And I'm Christopher Keith Tyler. Thanks for watching the show, listening to it, wherever you are. Now we're going to get to know Dacoda Miracle, coming from Palm Desert.
All the way.
All the way.
Hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah.
That's it.
Dacoda, when we first met, it was at a Riverside random open mic, and we just hit it off.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. Mid-pandemic, had all the COVID weight. I was like 250 pounds. I was like, it was a weird time in the country and in my life as well.
Yeah.
But we made friends fast.
I was all mask.
You're all mask?
yeah, I was all mask
You
at
put
the
a
time.
mask over your eyes? Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I thought he was blind. I just was like,
I looked like
I was wondering why he had a stick in his hand.
I looked like Cobra Commander. Just the full mask. We met at an open mic, and it was a lot of fun. And then from there, I was able William Henderson and George Ferrito and I went down to. That was my first time performing at one of your shows at the Coachella Brewing Company.
Yeah,
correct?
Coachella Valley Brewery.
Yeah.
Done a lot of shows there.
Yeah, dude, you're very busy down there.
Yeah.
And then there was the Laughtoberfest.
Laughtoberfest.
First festival I'd ever got to be on.
Really? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wait, that was the one I was able to go to this time.
You went to that one.
That was fun.
That was I believe October of 2022.
That's right.
October of 2022. Yeah.
Was that the time where there was that sandstorm and like I put on? I love this story because it's so gnarly. That was the first time that we were in a sandstorm, or I had been in a sandstorm.
Yeah, it was my first time too.
We were in the car. We were like, oh man, it's pretty windy. Just want to make sure these guys are open. And I'm like putting on chapstick, and lo and behold, like we get out of the car, we start walking, and sand all in my lips, and the whole time it was just like sandpaper.
Yep.
Yeah, you put the chamoy on your lips, you rim the glass and then you put it in the salt. Like you had prepped your lips and then it just stuck. Is that what happened?
Sort of,
Okay.
but chamoy is delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And salt or the sand is not as good as the tahine. So
She's not selling it enough for the listeners and watchers that it wasn't just like.
Oh no,
it was
it's a
like
gust. Yeah.
We were
like,
it was so it was really intense, and trying to get through the door, we couldn't get through the door, and then someone opened the door for us. It was a task to get outside.
This past Comedy Fest that you were there, were you able to come to this past one in March?
No. I don't know what happened.
Okay, it was a 3-day thing, so it's all kind of a blur. I'm like, I saw people I knew, didn't know, whatever. And I'm like, did you come? I don't know. But one of the days, I believe it was a Saturday. We did Friday, Saturday, Sunday this year. We had to cancel the food vendors because a big gust of wind came and sand got in everything. And they had tents, covers. It was just that intense on the Saturday, so they had to close up a little early, but.
That is so annoying.
The wind is crazy in Thousand Palms where that's at. But yeah, the wind is nuts there. It's like, don't have an outdoor, partial outdoor comedy festival where there's wind turbines, like where they harvest the wind for energy,
True.
So
Yeah.
It got
lesson learned.
It's an itch, I have to say, but it got intense.
Oh God!
I can't help it. It's just a bad itch. I can't.
Yeah.
My heart just shriveled.
But I do have to thank you too. Not only that was, Coachella Valley Brewery was the first time you were on a festival, but your show at Shamrock was the first time I headlined a show.
That's right.
So I want to thank you for that. That was very fun. That was a great show.
That was fun. You brought a crew, and like you pretty much brought the show.
Brought the whole fam. Yeah.
Entourage.
No, the entourage was fun. Brought the whole desert comedy scene up to Marietta. It was a good time. Yeah.
It was, the front doors open. It was just like sand comes blasting in.
We brought the sand with us. Yeah, we brought the sand with us. We just keep it in our pockets at all times. Yeah.
Right.
Pocket
Give everyone
sand.
that experience. When you meet them, you just have sand on your hands. You're like, no, nice to meet you.
Exactly. Unforgettable. Unforgettable.
When I came to your Laughttoberfest, the 2022, that was what was the inspiration to do a comedy fest here. I was like,
very
dude,
cool.
So inspiring. I'm like, oh man, if I think we can figure out how to do it.
I actually just came to give you a cease and desist, actually. No, actually, I came to collect. No.
Why do those words sound so professional? Kind of threw me off.
I'm like, now we're going to go to another podcast and we're going to give somebody else a cease and desist.
No, but that is very, I'm very flattered to know that was inspiration for you. That's very cool to know that.
I'm like, we should... Marietta and Temecula needs something like this. This is so cool. Yeah. And now, like, because when we did the Laughttoberfest, then when I did the Coachella Comedy Fest, that was like even more elaborate. Like now multiple days.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So that's got to be pretty intense setting that up, especially with all the comics and trying to organize each day.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have a little taste of it because you guys, have your own the KAWmedy Fest. But the call. But this was the third year that I did the comedy festival, and so the first 2 years doing the just the regular one-day comedy fest was awesome. But because of the success of it, we're just like, let's just try it 3 days, see what happens, So
really cool.
But knowing what it took for the first 2 years really prepared me to do it for the 3 days,
Yeah.
It actually was a little less stressful.
Really?
Because it wasn't just you only get one shot, It's like you get 3 days, it's a little, more spread out. It wasn't as crazy, The energy was a little bit different too, because one day people are like, everyone's on shrooms, drinking, like they have one day to do everything.
Right.
And having the 3 days, it's like the local comics I definitely saw, they didn't get like blasted. They're like, oh, we got 2 more days, they like kind of pace themselves. And then, but the comics coming in, they're like, we're doing shrooms, we're doing, whatever. But
and the third day, they're just on gurneys.
I was
toasted.
I will say that. I mean, I was exhausted after doing the 1 day fest. Yeah. Like the 1 day, I was like, I'm dead. But like after the 3 days, I was. I don't know how I made it. It was just there's so much stress that goes into it.
And it's cool that you have the indoor, the outdoor, and it's like it's a nice way for the audience to like get some fresh air and like go to the next venue. Yeah. The one that I got to do, I hosted and thank you by the way. The hosting was so much fun. Doing the outside event. Everyone that goes to anybody that goes to a comedy fest, they're there for comedy. So it's like this ongoing comedy show. It reminds me of like when you hear stories about like Dave Chappelle popping in at the Laugh Factory and doing like 8 hours of comedy.
Yeah.
Where he's just on stage for 8 straight hours.
Wait, are you exaggerating? Because
no.
I take everything literally.
No, I'm being serious.
No, I think he did like probably like 8 hours.
No, he's done 8 hours. There's a few people that will just go in and they'll do 8 hours, just constantly talking.
Yeah.
And they're just working it out. Instead of like doing a bunch of rooms all over the place, they just bang it out in like a full 8 hour. Yeah.
And that's kind of how the Comedy Fest was. I mean, 3 days of like from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. just, show after show after show after show. So
it's got to be pretty exhausting.
Yeah. Very, very exhausting.
One of these years that watch, Dave Chappelle's going to hear this and he's going to come down to Coachella and just be like, everyone got bumped.
Yeah. Bumped. Sorry.
Dave Chappelle's rocking day 2.
Yeah. No, that would be cool. Actually, it's kind of funny the last 3 years doing it. Last year, there was some talkings of like, people dropping in, and even this past year dropping in. And it hasn't happened yet, but because the casinos do pretty big shows in the Palm Springs area. Like the Agua Caliente, Fantasy Springs, Spotlight 29. They get like Tim Dillon, Sam Morril, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, if they're doing a weekend, people that are on the fest are like, oh, I know this person, blah, blah, like they might want to drop in, but nothing's ever come through. So
Yet.
Have you ever, when you watch Sam go on the news or even...
Oh, I love that.
And like he just leans really hard into the interviews for like when you've been on the news in the Coachella area or Palm Springs, you can't like lean in and say the most brutal stuff and then just like bounce out of town. You live there.
I know. I've thought about that too. Like my buddies and I, we've ran by bits about what to do, and everything is just like, I'm like, yeah, I have to walk around this city, like I have to I have to get more gigs, like I can't just burn the bridge immediately. So I have to be very professional, which sucks, but
No, and you do a great job.
Thank you. Yeah. I try to be presentable.
Did you see him on the news? He was on the Palm Springs.
Don't you
promoting
know
comedy?
Haven't you seen me on it? No.
Yeah, on his Instagram. Yeah.
No, I do. I have posted it, but
I don't know if you know.
I don't know if you know this.
I was on the news.
It's so funny because the news is like, unless you do something like Sam Morril, like you're like kind of going off the rails.
Oh,
like no one watches the news. Like maybe I got like 2 65-year-olds to come to the comedy fest because of the news, but it is always fun to be on it and like post it to Facebook so friends back home can see it. But that's about
come to
it.
think of it, I think you actually showed me, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good. Our comedy fest has been in patch.com.
Dude,
rolling
The
an ad.
patch. I mean, patch is in every city, right?
Hey, we all got our patch.
Yours is
Is
the
this a
news.
nicotine patch company? Is this what this is?
Yeah.
Is it trying to stop smoking? Yeah.
that's what it
you
is.
unwrap
Okay.
you unwrap your nicotine and there's like a little
patch.
Yeah, no, it's a little advertisement.
Oh,
It
okay.
shows like KAWmedy Krow and then you just put it in your mouth.
That'd be great advertising on the actual patch because people have to wear. It's
like
it's like a
acid.
T-shirt.
Yeah.
Or like,
KAWmedy
drop an
Krow
acid.
acid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
let's
you
just
go.
do that. We should just
Acid taps with the crow on it.
Yeah, a little black. Yeah. We'll go to we need to do go to a rave and promote our festival at the raves with acid patches with
it sounds
crows. I like
amazing.
it. It'd be fun. Marketing is a pain, man. Like, and
It sucks,
huge respect to your work. Like this last Coachella, the sign up, like the database, the website, the way it was so slick, very inspiring.
Thanks.
I don't know how you do it, but yeah, you are definitely innovative for sure.
Well, thank you. I'm always striving to be, make everything better. And once you do it a few times, you get more resources and people that want to help out. And so,
You can't do it alone.
Can't do it alone, as you guys know. So
we've got our team. There's no way I could ever run the festival by myself. So yeah. And so respect.
Well, thank you. And I have yet to make it to the comedy fest, but I can't wait to be there, especially for next year. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So. We're already planning 2025.
Sweet.
We're trying to decide if we want to do April or June, but never again May.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. No,
Probably April.
yeah, we cannot do anything. Yeah, anything before like October and anything after like May in the desert. It's either too hot or too windy or too, whatever. It's
Too much sand.
Too much sand. As you know, you're
I know.
very,
Very intimate with
well
that sand.
attuned to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any stories of like any negative experiences from running a 3-day?
Not a lot.
Like, is there any bingers, like some comedy bingers that are like starting to get a little too comfortable, or
it's kind of funny. The first 2 years there was incidences of people getting, like I said, there's one day they have one shot, they're drinking all the beer they can and getting just plastered. And so there's I think the first year someone that was drunk, and not in a bad way, but they were just like proud. It was like someone I know's dad.
Yeah.
And he was just really proud, like, how
Does that mean like they're loud?
they're
Loud and proud?
loud and proud, but like when the show ended, the festival, the last show of the festival concluded. And I'm up there like, hey, everybody, hope you had a good time. It's first year, blah, 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 you know, see you later. He comes up on stage, like not rushing the stage in a bad way, but just like, give it up for Dacoda. You know, I'm like, oh my God, okay, here we go. And then
Your first groupie.
Yeah, first groupie, someone's dad.
Yeah. I'm the roadie now.
Yeah. So that was an experience. But nothing has gotten out of hand, thank God, because like, you know, it's especially the first 2 years, it was just me doing it. It was, you know, like, not to, you know, we're going to have security next year, but, you know, the first 2 years, you know, very low budget. Like I had like zero budget to do any of this. So basically I paid the comics with t-shirt sales. That was like the big deal. Nothing happened. Thank God. Like no one got too out of hand. Yeah, there might have been a few people, you know, having a few drinks, maybe, you know, toss back a few, or, you know, few comedy tabs, you know, with the crow on it. Yeah. But no one got out of hand. So it was good. Nothing too negative.
You're doing security this year,
next year, 2025. Yeah, right, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, just because, you know, as things get bigger.
I'm listening to your words. Yeah. So is it what was the inspiration for security?
There's no real inspiration for it, but it's just like, you know, as things get bigger and more, you know, if you are going on the news to promote it, and like if you do want to promote it to max capacity, like you know, just to have some, you know, some muscle there, you know, right, like what are comedians gonna do? Like you saw what happened with, you know, Chris Rock, you know, whatever, like. Yeah, when there's no security, I mean, things just go off the rails.
So when you say security, you're not talking about like comics,
armed guards,
right?
No, I was kidding. No.
Yeah, dogs, barking dogs.
Yeah, through the whole set, just barking dogs through the whole set.
A turret.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, just run a tank at this
point. We'll have Air Force One on standby. Yeah, haul me out of there. It'll be like 9/11. Like,
I'll get you one of those big red buttons. You know, for the end of the world.
Yeah,
you can push that.
Yeah. That's just it sicks all the dogs on the audience. Like no, just like someone there that, you know, like,
but not a door, like, because we have
door
guys,
door people,
yeah,
door people, door guys, or door guys, thems,
door they thems, and they just they sit there and they watch. Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Yep.
But okay, so you're talking like I'm imagining like earpiece, dark sunglasses, dressed to the tits, like
nothing crazy. Just like, you know,
that's like Secret Service.
That's like Secret Service.
That's what I'm thinking. Like
nothing crazy. Yeah. But it is good to have
really tight collar shirt and just like veins, and they're just ready to pop any second.
Oh, it's because they can't breathe. Yeah. Anything happens, they're just going to take 2 steps and fall. They're going to pass out. Yeah.
Especially in the desert with all that sand.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But no, just a little something, just because, like I said, as things get bigger, I was actually worried about, you know, like the first 2 years, like it just getting shut down, you know, like having this event on a whim, like, hey, I just want to get my friends together, have this like comedy festival. And like, I was like, what if like 5,000 people show up? And like, you know, it only hold like, if you have all of the areas full, like the main area where they pour the beer, the back area where they brew the beer, where one of the stages is, and then the back area that it's outside. If you had all of those full at the same time, you could probably fit like 250 people, maybe 300. But I was just like, if the whole town shows up, like, what are you gonna do? Like, there's bedlam, you know, like it's just.
I love your positivity.
There's two. I know, right?
What if we oversold
out? That's
what I'm the same way.
I know. Yeah. Well, I mean, once you see like things catching on, like catching traction, and it seems like it's blowing up, you're just like, oh my God, this thing's like trending on Twitter. It's not, but you know, you're just like, oh my God, like this, it's catching fire. Then you're just like, oh my God, I don't have enough seats. Like this year, I was like, I ordered 200 shirts, right? And the first year I had 150, had a little left over. Second year, I think I did like 175. There's a little left over. And then this year I was like, I'm doing more advertising, this and that. I'm like, I don't know if 200 is enough. The day of, I was like, oh my God, I need to call, order more, like, blah, blah. And then I still end up having a few left. So I'm just like, I always have that optimism of like, there's not enough I need to be over prepared.
I was like laying in bed sweating, thinking that it was going to be like World War Z, like mobs of people coming down, and Brad Pitt's like fighting off zombie people.
Yeah.
I want it to just be just overwhelming. Like it's on the news, helicopters show up. They're like, "There's something going on here in Murrieta and Temecula. There's just hordes of people. We're calling in the military." Yeah, that's what Coast
They have to
Guard.
send in FEMA.
There's
NATO is coming by to help out.
Yeah, scalpers are cutting each other's scalp off, like literal
Scalpers are scalping.
It is getting mayhem.
But no, it's always good to be optimistic. But sadly, nothing ever, is oversold out. So I guess it's a good problem to have. Is too many people attending.
That's a really good problem.
When did you start doing stand up? And then, I'm guessing like. What was the first year of your first festival? Was what year, and what year was it when you first started doing stand up?
Yeah, so strictly stand up. My background's in improv. I was performing on stage with improv. I mean, I started that in my freshman year of high school.
Okay.
And then right when I graduated, when I turned 18, I actually got on the main stage of an improv troupe in San Jose, California. I'm from the Bay Area. And
why are Bay Area comics so funny?
There's all moving down.
There's something about that. All the Bay Area comics. I'm serious.
We're representing well, I guess.
Yeah. Frankie Marcos and his crew. Everyone
Frankie
from the Bay
Marcos,
Area. They're all so funny.
He was from the Bay Area.
Yeah, the whole Bay Area comics. What
Ryan
is up
Goodcase is like on the rise right now. He's so funny. He just released a special. I just did a show with Irene too. She did comedy in the Bay Area for a long time, and then Max Eddy too. He's so funny. So, yeah, just a few Bay Area names. So shout out, drop some names. Yeah. So I started with Comedy Sports. That's the improv troupe that I was, that I was in. And then, but I didn't start stand up till I moved down to Palm Springs, which was April of 2018. So it's been, was that like 6 years? Something like that. 6, 7 years.
I don't know. My brain's fried today.
So started in 2018. Sorry, I lost track. But yeah, started in 2018 when I moved down because there was no improv down here. I couldn't find, or there was like improv, but it was like 65 and up, and I'm like, I can't. I was 20 years old. I'm like, I can't join this troupe.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
put the young kid up again.
All the references I would make, they wouldn't, they wouldn't be able to yes and. It would be like more like, huh, what? That would be their.
Turn the youngster up. I can't see him. You're like, what?
No, it wouldn't. It's not a good back and forth with that. So, are
you my nurse?
I'm like,
Miracle, are you an angel?
I'm like, you're not. We're in a scene right now. Like, are you acting, or do you need did you really fall and need life alert, or is this?
Do I need to get out?
You're all. What is it? Pantomiming like CPR. You're doing it, but he's like,
no, really.
No, he's actually dying. You're like, oh yeah, me too.
That poses a problem for you if you were in that situation. So good for you for not. Telling them like, hey, I'm a person too.
Yeah. So I just didn't even try to do improv down in Palm Springs, and so I started doing open mics and all that stuff. And then the first festival was 2022. Nice. So 2018 started, 2022 first Comedy Fest.
Cool.
So,
yeah. I started doing stand up way after like high school, but then. And then I got into an improv group, did that for 4 to 5 years.
Okay.
It was a spontaneous scene work. And then after doing that, I got real into like hosting, and like I felt more comfortable. Yeah. And then that's where, like, when you and I met, I'm like, oh, dude, like, there's something. Like,
I host all the time.
Yeah, we both have like that kind of, I don't know, like we jived very well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was fun. Well, and I went to that open mic on a whim. That's the first and only time I went to, what was it, Riverside?
Yeah, it was in Riverside at that Mexican restaurant.
Mexican restaurant in Riverside.
Out on the patio.
Yeah. Yeah, and I haven't
Placitas.
Yeah. That's the first and only time I've been to an open mic in Riverside too. So that was it.
It was a match made in heaven. It was so great.
Yeah, it's meant to be.
Got a lot of soulmates in here.
Yeah. A lot of soul in this room.
Soul Plane.
Yeah,
right?
but no, it's great for. I think it's great for comics. I mean, obviously, no roads are the same. Like everyone has their own path and everything. But I mean, a lot of great stand-ups started with like improv, and I think it's a good, good building block in a young comedy career, I think.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, you have to be witty, quick.
Yeah. It's definitely when I first started doing stand up and hosting, I would just be so quick with the crowd, and people were just like, "What? Like, do you know that person? Like, is that a plant?" I'm
That's
like,
my
"No, like
favorite.
that's just." Like I'm improvising with that, so that was fun. But I mean, especially now with how the viral videos are just like, people talking to the audience, like Matt Rife and whatnot, like those interactions
crowd work.
are like crowd work interactions are just like the biggest thing right now. So it's like it would pay off to have an open mind and
To be able to like reply
Exactly.
and be quick if someone is either being cool or not being cool.
yeah.
It's sort of right now we're in this weird time of comedy where audience members, because now on social media and streaming, everyone's people who don't do comedy or stand-up, everything that they're seeing is crowd work. And so now people are going to shows expecting crowd. They're thinking that's what comedy is now these days.
Yeah.
And so there's old style, I don't know what to call it, but like traditional comics are like,
Hey, take my wife. Why can't we go back to that?
yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so like it's this thing, and so people are trying to get the word out that like crowd work is good for marketing because it's you're catching lightning in a bottle,
and you're not giving up your material
Right.
too. So it's like if a lot of times when people market things, you're showing a clip of their stand-up, and then if someone really likes that, they'll look at more clips, and then by the time they actually go see you because they're such a fan of you, they're like, oh, I've seen this 30-minute set,
Right.
So the crowd work helps definitely with the marketing.
I think it breaks it up.
Exactly. Yeah. But again, like you're seeing when you see that crowd work clip, it's like the best of that crowd work segment. There could have been 15 minutes of crowd work, but that one line, like that Hawk 2 girl, like she, like whatever. It's like just that one little snippet, But like any crowd work shows, like any improv show, there's good and bad, and when improv is bad, it's very cringy. It's like, it is unwatchable, And same with like crowd work, It's like, how many times can we like, oh, where you from? Whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it just,
I mean,
we all fall into those traps,
Right.
But yeah.
There's now with that happening, there's people who are new comics are under the impression of like, oh, I need to do crowd work to do stand-up.
Yeah.
And number one, they don't understand that a lot of these crowd work clips that people are sharing, that's after they've done their normal set, and then they open up for crowd work.
Yeah.
Or they'll do one or the other, but they're still like their standard comedy.
Yeah.
But they're not showing that. So then there's all these new comics that are coming into the scene. They come to the open mics and they're like, when should I start doing crowd work? I'm like, don't just do your thing, and it'll come with wisdom.
It's like
and
people watching
time.
porn, It's like they just get straight to the sex, It's like there's a lot of foreplay,
Right.
That you
or talking,
in real life and
getting
talking.
to know each other.
Yeah,
He's into it.
Yeah, it's like
eating food.
Yeah,
You have to-
I mean, they're just coming on stage, whipping out their 8-incher. It's
You
crazy.
would know.
It's crazy. Yeah.
The crowd. It's a very interesting time now with everything that you're doing. Is there what's your least favorite thing about from like stand up to improv, hosting, producing, marketing, and what's the thing that and I'll to help or just to make it feel more comfortable. Marketing or I like making the videos, but like the promoting aspect of like you can't lot of club runners or managers are like, where are the people? Like, make them come here. And so and if you don't have the name on television that people don't recognize you around the dinner table,
it is hard to
get people to go. So that's the hardest for me.
Yeah.
And like, you can blast on social media and you can boost your posts and you can do all this, but to get people excited to go, it's always amazing when people come to the show and I'm like, how did you find out about the show? And they're like, oh, the internet. I'm like, how? What did you see? That's amazing.
You need to fill out a report every show. Like, how did you hear about this? That is a hard thing to do without a recognizable name. And I've noticed too, like, posting, I've done it, for about 6 years in the Coachella Valley. And I mean, when I post to my story, I could post 1,000,000 times, but it's like the same people that, like, especially if I book local comedians, it's like the same people that see my story, see their story, see that. So I'm like, I'm not reaching a new audience, So I'm like, I tend to not even post on my story for those things. Like I have a separate page called Bitten Tongue Productions. That's like my production company, I guess. And so like I host trivia, I do private karaoke nights and like other things like that. So I kind of post everything on that.
That's cool.
And so the people that are on that, just like people at a comedy fest, they're there for entertainment, like my personal page, like it's, me, where I'm at, what I'm doing, in my not day to day. I'm not like, like that kind of I'm not like Kim Kardashian. Like, I eat some toast and I'm posting it.
You're like posing in the mirror.
Yeah, there's no posing or anything.
Oh my God, you guys.
That's a good Kim. That's a good Kim.
Thank you. I practice.
But yeah, so I tend to not even post that much, but there are some producers that feel the pressure of the venue to like bring people. So, but a lot of times what I see, not to name any names, but people are promoters, like they always message the comedians like, why aren't you posting? How many people you have coming? Like, all this stuff, like they're like down their throats about it. And I just never wanted to be that person.
Right.
I'm like, bring someone or not. Like it's on me really, to like, as a producer, like to bring the people. But that part isn't my least favorite, to be honest with you. Like I actually do like the stress of like, are there going to be people or not going to be people? Like, whatever.
That's nice.
Yeah, I know. I'm like addicted to stress. That's why I did the comedy festival.
I've never heard anybody say that before.
It's
I hate
terrible.
it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think it started, in middle school, I, was in a science fair, I had a science project, and I didn't do it until the night before.
Procrastination.
Big procrastinator, yeah. So I did it the night before, and I got second place. And so I'm like, okay, I could get rewarded for procrastinating, and it's worked out ever since. So I think I just have to have that like deadline and like pulling something off.
You found your wave.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So I hate it. It sucks that I am like this. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God. Like I do trivia every week. And this past week, I showed up, got everything ready. There was like people that reserved tables, and I had written all the questions out, but I have a slideshow that I make. I didn't do I forgot the slideshow. So like right before trivia started, luckily I showed up early, but down to the wire, like putting in making the slideshow for it. So it's like, I thrive off that, like, off that stress. So.
You're like literally, soon you'll be like this improv producer where like people show up and you're just making the flyer now. You have it up on the big screen and the event is happening.
Done.
Making it now. That's cool, man.
So I actually do in a messed up way enjoy that stuff.
Okay. What's your least favorite though? Or I guess least favorite. That's a positive way to say it.
It's been happening more and more, but I've been leaning more into the producing side, and I really love all of that stuff, like I just said. So what I've been thinking about doing is kind of taking a step back from performing. As much as I do love performing, like I don't have the time. I'm doing so many other things now. These private gigs, these this trivia nights, whatever, that I don't write a lot. I'm writing trivia questions more than, whatever. And because I don't have that drive to really write comedy and perfect it and all that stuff, like, I'm just like, yeah, maybe I should take a step back. So I would say like the aftermath of performing. I do love being on stage. I do love performing, but like the aftermath feeling of like, oh man, I didn't perfect that. I kind of half-assed it. I didn't have time before the show because I'm last minute making everything good and whatever, that I didn't have time right before my set to like, go over my notes and like whatever. And so like that disappointment after being on stage and not feeling like I did my best, I think that's my least favorite part.
Yeah. Dude,
That's
we have so
fair.
much in common. It's so crazy because like,
Yeah, he stresses.
And if you're producing a show and you're making sure people are checked in, their tickets, whatever, you don't, and especially if you're hosting, you're the first one up. And so like I've done it so many times where I'm checking people in, whatever, and I'm like, oh shit, I have to go up on stage and like, so there's zero time to prepare. It's terrible.
We just did the roast of Joe Newcomer. Here's I'll flip the sign there right there. There you go. It's the second annual.
Yeah.
But I was the roast host that evening, and one of the roasters, Shadi Matar, he did a really good roast joke on me about how if you like go back into like my Facebook. Basically, he was saying like I'm like a has-been because like in the beginning, I was like on all these shows and I was doing all this stuff, and then but what you're saying clicks with me because I'm like back then all I was focusing on was stand-up, and now it's like doing all these different things, and so I mean I just like you, I agree on I enjoy performing and I like. And I get compliments. People are like,
Yeah, he's a great host. And he always has something different. So.
I always do something different every week, but I get bored with it, and I don't want to. I don't expand on it because I'm expanding on all these other things, and I like providing or helping other comics.
Yeah.
And so I tell people, I'm like, as the host, like I like to make sure everybody they're all shining stars, and
exactly.
I'm going to take the hit, and you guys aren't going to like me very much, but at the very end, you'll probably like me.
And
they will. They'll come up and they're like, you put on a really good show.
Yep.
But they don't, and thankfully they don't remember my opening bit.
Yeah.
So,
well, if everyone does great for the rest of the show, it's like, I'm just an afterthought. It's like they remember the bright spots, So
True.
yeah.
And so,
and it helps performing for dementia units. That's the best. That's best audience. And Palm Desert,
Dementia
we got
people only, please.
now, do you
What's
have
your health status?
Yeah, exactly.
one last thing before we move into our segment, but our final segment, but it just came to me. But do you have a theory on what is it about like the elderly loving heat?
Oh, I know exactly why this is. Do you know why?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah.
But I'm next.
No. I mean, yeah, go for it.
They don't move.
Oh, okay.
Their blood pressure is all over the place, which kind of heats them up too. Yeah, but they don't move. Like, like I notice, like, because I work at home now, and so I'm on the computer all day, and it could be, I don't know, 78 in here, 79 in here, and you're like, and you will come home and it's like, oh, it's kind of stuffy and warm in here, and I'm like, I'm fine. But if you're not moving around, which older folk don't
usually,
don't usually,
and their meds are gonna like mess with their cold fingers or if they have diabetes. There's so many.
So they're reptilian people. I don't know. They're reptilian. I don't know if you heard. No, but what I've heard too, I mean, they're going to be probably more immobile and whatnot. But I don't know if you have any injuries or anything like that, but the cold hurts your injuries and whatnot.
Like
and
if you have metal in your knees.
Metal and whatnot, and also arthritis, like you said, like the heat definitely
lubricates.
helps.
Okay.
I guess
just like going in the sauna.
I guess it helps. Heat shock therapy, whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
And definitely, it's a heat shock out there. It is miserable. But if it's, like 9 months out of the year, it's 75, and so it's like, if you're not facing those brutal colds, when you're 80, you don't want to be shoveling your driveway or worrying about how you're going to get to and from, or even if you think about it, I mean, if you get in the nitty gritty, the like emergency services, if you're somewhere where it's cold and snowing all the time, I mean, a paramedic can't get to you, and so they kind of just flock to it. They love that heat.
The Floridas.
Yeah. But I will say this, to the credit of Palm Springs and Palm Desert, all the 55 and up communities, they have so many activities for these people. Like
That's so cool.
They don't have to leave their community. Like this place called Sun City, Shadow Hills, it is like, they have their own post office. Like, it is such a huge community. Own little city, literally.
Yeah, if you have a post office, if you have fire, police department.
Yeah, they make their own rules. They're their own country.
It's like Canyon Lake.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, that community name is like it should be like a senior citizen metal band.
Sun City Shadow Hills.
Yeah.
Coming to your area. Yeah.
Sunny Shadow. Yeah. And all the songs are like about all the lyrics are about like medication and their nurse.
Diabetes.
Oh,
Sponsored by Blue Chew.
Well, let's move into our closing segment.
I've been waiting for this.
Is KAWmedy Krow underneath you or behind you? There he is.
I was sitting on this.
All right, there. Yeah, it's KAWmedy Krow.
The nose might be a little bent.
Yeah, that's okay.
He's bisexual.
Oh, okay,
so it
nice.
doesn't matter.
KAWspiracy. It's KAWspiracy time. Yeah. Dacoda Miracle. Yeah, baby.
What does that sound like? There's like a
Meatwad.
Meatwad. Okay, yeah, that's right.
That's where like
from Aqua Teen.
His voice
Hunger
has
Force,
changed over the years. First, it started with my Prius was Nostradamus.
Do I need to scoot closer to you?
Sure, yeah, you can scoot closer. It's fine.
I might have been off screen for a while.
I used to communicate with my son about his school day because he was always afraid to tell me about his day. So then I created our Prius into a character named Nostradamus.
Oh.
So I'd be like, "Hello, Bubble," and so I use that sort of meatwad.
Oh, it sounds
voice.
like the hormone monster too from
Big Mouth.
Big Mouth. Yeah, that sounds like the hormone monster.
No, you're
that's
thinking
the
of the
old man. That's
old
the old
man. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Hey, that's old man. Yeah.
Like they have to put subtitles.
Yes, you can't understand. Yeah, that's a good character. I like that character. And the hormone monster is great.
Yeah. Oh God.
With KAWmedy Krow, I just put a little rasp on it, so it's like
okay.
Like it's more
That's good.
strained. So yeah.
So
KAWmedy
wait,
Krow.
so your son would talk to your Prius about his day?
Yeah. So he would. I'd say I'd get
Okay,
in.
I'm sorry.
I'd have it.
Okay.
I have it on recording.
Wait. Is this your a car Prius?
Yeah.
And it would like
I'm driving, and then
Okay.
I would start. I'm like, so Devin,
like
I'm
a ventriloquist thing?
No. I'm driving the car, and then and Devin would get in the car, and I'm like, so how was your day? And he's like, oh, it was fine. I'm like, what happened? How was your? And because I knew what would happen, but he wouldn't tell me, and because his teacher would email me or whatever.
Oh wow!
And
teacher's a rat.
Yeah.
Teacher's ratting
Never
him
rat
out.
on your friend.
I know. Yeah.
Keep your mouth shut.
Jeez.
And Devin would just say, oh, I don't remember. And I'm like, you don't remember your day? You were only at school for like 3 hours. Like, you don't remember your day? Come on.
I want to perform for this kid. It's like the dementia unit.
Yeah. And so then finally, I don't know how I came up with it, but I was like, hey, buddy, like, I'm 4 years old. Because I was like, he's a 2013. So at the time, he was only like 4. He's like a little brother to Devin.
Got it.
I got in trouble today because I got pulled over. Your dad got in trouble. The cop pulled over us and he was tagging us. Your dad.
And I'm like, Nostradamus, don't talk about what I did. Like, that was no big deal. And Devin was just like, what the fuck? Like,
what's going on?
Like watching me talk to the steering wheel as I'm driving.
That's hilarious.
And so, like, Devin would, and so one day there was a.
He finally warmed up to it?
Yeah.
Okay.
What really made it real was it was raining one day, and I picked him up, and I wasn't happy about what Devin did at school.
Oh, no.
Some kid got hurt, and like I was just like I had to deal with all this stuff. And
Wow.
Bad.
yeah, he pushed a kid to be first at the water fountain.
Oh,
and so
got it.
the
Okay.
kid I had to go to the principal's office and talk to the parents, and they wanted to press charges. And I
Did
was
the
like,
kid
no.
like hit his head on the spout or
Yeah,
something?
Devin
Like,
knocked
I
him
mean,
on his ass, and he
jeez.
like got scuffed up, and the parents were all
Oh
uptight.
my
so,
gosh.
anyways,
Yeah.
so we were driving, and I'm like, Devin, I want you to tell me what you did today. What happened? And he's like, I don't remember. And Nostradamus was like,
You can't.
um,
I'm not gonna tell you what I did either.
and I'm like, Nostradamus, if you don't tell me what you did, I'm gonna pull over and spank you. And he was like,
You're not gonna do that because I'm the car and I'm driving.
and I'm like, that's it, dude. I'm pulling over. So I
Because like
pull,
Nostradamus is playing Devin.
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
And so Devin's like watching, and I
You pulled over?
I pulled over and I got out of the car and I smacked the bumper.
Were you doing that?
in the rain?
Outside too.
Well, I got back in.
People are like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
Yeah,
oh, sorry. Can I cuss on this?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, cool.
And so I get back into the car, and then Nostradamus, he's like,
Why'd you spank me?
and Devin was like, Dad, if you don't tell the truth, Dad will spank you, and that's what Dad does. And like he says what he's gonna do.
It's like
And-
this
my
crazy
gosh.
reverse psychology.
Yeah,
that's very
that's
interest-
amazing.
Yeah,
Right.
totally
I
amazing.
love that.
Yeah,
But
and so-
I mean, real quick, psychologists actually use
I'm sure.
the puppet.
ways like
Well,
that.
I-
Puppet, well, even dolls to help demonstrate like
Where did he touch
offset
you?
Situation
Yeah,
to
yeah.
offset the
It's
situation.
easier to talk
so
to
that,
a doll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and so then Devin made it real.
Yeah.
So then when every day I would pick him up, and he was like,
Oh my
"Hey,
God.
Dad, can I talk to Nostradamus?" I'm like, "He's right here."
Hey, buddy.
And like he would just start talking.
It's so cool.
That's how it. And I did that for a few years. But then, like, I would pull up and drop Devin off at his mom's, and his mom would come up to the window, and
Who's this Nostradamus?
Yeah, and Devin was
Yeah.
like, "All right, bye, Nostradamus." I'm like,
Yeah.
not talking. He's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
talking to like he only talks to you,
Yeah.
Devin. Or he's not talking. And then like our niece, Lizzie, got in the car
That's
one
right.
time.
Want to talk to Nostradamus?
And Devin was like, "Hey, Nostradamus," and I was like,
Hey, who's that in the back seat? Is that Lizzie?
and Lizzie was like, "What the fuck?" Like it was like the first time she
Oh
like
my
cussed.
God, that's
Like,
so awesome.
Devin was like, "Yeah, my dad's crazy."
I
Like,
love
it's
that.
good.
I
But-
love that.
So that's how it evolved into KAWmedy Krow. But
Okay,
the-
very
The
cool.
history of KAWmedy Krow.
I love that story. That is
Yeah.
so cool.
And we met David Cross.
Yes.
And David Cross's fingers have been inside
Oh, really?
KAWmedy Krow.
With
Oh.
his DNA. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
he licked his fingers, and
Oh.
yeah, it's in a sketch for the first comedy fest we did. We went and did a promo with him. But
Oh my God, that's
it was
amazing.
cool.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
we'll ever watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too many memories.
Yeah.
Sean Patton was in. He also
Yeah?
did it too.
Wow.
Yeah, so,
Okay. That's
yeah.
KAWmedy Krow's making the rounds.
Yeah.
Like you said,
He's a hooker.
bisexual. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
He's
you
a
said.
hooker.
Yeah, public puppet
Yeah.
number 1. Anyway, so for
Yeah.
Conspiracy.
for the conspiracy segment, you and I were chatting about what we wanted to talk about, and you were mentioning something about the government wanting everybody to have EV cars to have control over everybody. Could you
Okay, well,
elaborate
now you
a
make
little
me
bit?
sound crazy. Okay.
It's a conspiracy.
No,
It's
it
for
is a conspiracy.
Entertainment purposes only. We don't believe all this
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
If you want to run with it, that's on you. But we're just having fun.
So I'm just saying it's a little weird, right? Like we're all being, persuaded, right? Gently nudged, and then in 2035 we're all supposed to in California or
They're not
2030.
selling any more
Right.
ICE vehicles in 2035.
Yeah, you cannot sell any more vehicles
Right.
that run strictly
On
on gas.
gasoline,
Yeah.
right.
And so it's just very interesting that everything's moving to electric when I don't think our power grid. I mean, I live in Palm Springs. In the summer, there's rolling blackouts.
Yeah.
Right, and it's kind of
There's
scary
here, too.
And I'm sure here, everything's getting warmer. And there's rolling blackouts, and not only are cars all EV, but in cities, especially in California, new homes and apartments are strictly electric appliances too.
Right.
Like no gas stoves, no nothing. And yeah, I guess it's safer, whatever. But this is a conspiracy.
It's a lot.
Okay,
Right.
Oh,
it's probably a lot safer.
Yeah.
Right.
So
but you know, if anything happens, you know, like we just had a solar flare a few was it like a month ago or something. They're like, if this solar flare got bigger, like, you know, it could
knock out a grid.
Right. You know, and especially, you know, if we get hacked in our power grid or whatever, like if we're so reliant on just electricity, which we all are. I mean, everything you see here, right?
Right.
We could have a real big
Stone Age
problem.
Yeah,
Stone
go back
Age
to the
stuff. Stone Age stuff. So anyway, but that's not the whole thing. The one of the biggest things too that I saw, and I'm not. I love driving a Tesla. You know, I've test driven them, whatever. Not that I'm gonna buy one, but they're fun to drive and all that stuff. But electric cars don't start having the benefits to the ecosystem or the environment. Obviously,
after the sale,
till about 10 years down the line. So if you drove a gas-powered car, they're so efficient right now that the emissions from that gas car will not equal the emissions that it took to create that large car battery till 10 years down the line. They don't cross. Yeah. So a car, when you know you buy it, it's, you know, at zero. Like, you know, there's an engine and, you know, whatever pollutants it takes to make that. But it starts relatively low, and then as you drive it, it just compounds. And if you look at it as a chart or a graph, it just keeps going up as your emissions, you know, every time you drive it, the emissions come out. But it's so slight and whatever. When you buy an electric vehicle, it's already starting way up here because of everything it took to make that battery.
Right, it took so much coal to make the battery.
Exactly,
in the first place.
and the stuff
And the
that's in the
mining,
battery, the mining, and you know all that
The
stuff.
cobalt.
So the cobalt,
Yeah.
People are dying over that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily better for the environment
Yet.
at initial
Yeah.
But then also, where are these batteries going to go when we toss them?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, and this is something I don't know.
Yeah.
So whoever knows, cool. How are we recycling the batteries? How are we? But again, like the technology is. I have so many like things to say with this, so I apologize. But technology is going faster and faster and faster. So you know, in 5 years, you have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And they already have. I mean, and we've had it for a long time, but of course, the government doesn't make any money off of it. So there's the hydrogen cars. There's the cars that run on solar.
Yeah, what are they saying? Like the solar panels aren't big enough, or the solar panels that would go on a car wouldn't produce enough energy for a car to have a full charge or
Yeah, it's
something?
because those freaking huge monitors that they put in it takes up all the energy.
It does,
And then
it
the
does
air
take a lot of
conditioner,
energy.
hello.
Yeah. We all need AC
Yeah, that's right.
because of the gas-powered cars.
Yeah. I'm going to take it a step further,
Yeah,
and
sure.
let's just say for the theory aspect of
Yeah.
this, let's say the government, like you had mentioned in the conversation in the text, that the government is doing this to have more control over everybody. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So the government is...
They're controlling us.
So what they're doing is they're like, okay, let's get everybody on electric cars first. And so then 2035 comes along. And by this point, now robots have come along too. AI has now swept the nation and the world for everyone's job. So now people are like useless
Basically,
and rely on the government. And then we're like, we need the AI to do everything for us. But the AI runs on electricity as well. So we're all dependent of the government and the electricity. And then they're like, well, we need to control the people more. So for your safety, everyone has to have a chip in their head for the Neuralink
exactly.
to control your thoughts and pump advertisements into your brain while you're sleeping.
It's a Black Mirror
And,
episode.
Yeah. And so then
sure.
so then now we're all on the hive mind.
Yeah.
Everybody, even fetuses, they're implanting the chip in the head so the baby comes
like a
out
circumcision.
and the baby will be smarter. The baby will
Yeah.
already know math when the baby comes out. So like it's going to be a smarter dumb baby. And so then
It all sounds great.
and then finally, now everybody's hooked in. We're all hive mind and we all can see the future. We're all gods in a way. And then all of a sudden, Elon Musk and Bill Gates and everybody they're like, oh, you know what? the fifth age is over, boom, and they just shut everybody down, and everyone's as dumb as rocks, and we all become extinct. The end.
Yeah, you never know.
There's the
And
end
that's
of the
a
world
massive.
You
for
never
you.
know.
That, or also they plug us all in, and we're hooked in. Like the
Matrix style, yeah.
And they're utilizing us to fuel the robots and the energy vehicles that are driving us around, and we're just like,
Yeah.
like,
I mean, look. I mean, like even okay. So they're making these really really smart cities.
Yeah.
You know, Toyota has their woven city, etc. And these cities, and there's multiple. Like they're building out into the ocean. Super fascinating. And these cities will actually have. They'll create energy because energy is everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, Tesla proved that.
Yeah.
But when you're walking in the city, it creates energy.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah, they're doing
like on
that
the sidewalk. Like,
yeah.
Correct.
Whoa.
Right.
Okay.
It's called Blue Tech City in Vegas that
There you
they're
go.
building.
You
And then what
Right.
about what I really like too, and I don't think they have this in the United States, but there's certain stretches of roads, I think in Japan, where you drive over it and it charges your car, and that's so cool too. And I love that sort of thing, and that's really cool. But what I'm thinking about is like in America, like the big winter storm in Texas that knocked out the power grid for days, like weeks, like people died, and so I'm like, if we're so reliant on electricity and we're just plugging in all of our stuff and it just we don't have enough electricity for that, that's a little worrisome, and for the near future, because the technology is advancing very fast.
Very fast, yeah. So I mean, it is a like totally understand, like, and the grids, etc. I'm wondering how they're going to handle it.
Yeah, that's the
because
big
it has
concern.
to be handled.
Yes,
there's no freaking way, because even the government can't run without electricity. So let's face it,
Yeah.
like they're in a bind too.
Yeah.
So if they're in a bind, they're going to fix it, and they're going to at least carry us a little further.
There's
right?
mutual interest here.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
100%.
No, I mean, you wanted a conspiracy, so I was like, oh, they're controlling us. But so I threw that in there.
Totally
but
makes sense.
but it's like, it is concerning to in the near future, at least, to be like, we're at this point where we're all plugging in, and they're also like, oh, we don't have the capacity for everyone to plug in. So it's
Right.
like, what's got to give there, So anyway.
And it is ironic that they named the new grid Electrify America.
Oh, is that what they called it?
Electrify America is the
Jamie
new power
Foxx, the spokesperson for that? Electro? Yeah, that'd be great.
I'm
I thought it was Kim Kardashian.
Well,
Yeah.
it was a pleasure having you
Hey,
on the
well,
show.
thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it.
For all of our viewers out there and listeners, where can everybody find you other than we have you on the Instagram right there?
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Is there other social platforms that you would recommend people following you at?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to the Palm Springs area, you could follow, obviously, at Dacoda Miracle, DACODA MIRACLE, like Miracle Whip. You can follow that page, and then also my comedy production page, Bit in Tongue. So Bit, B-I-T, the letter N, and then Tongue Productions, and you could find all kinds of things on there, whether it's trivia, comedy, karaoke, anything like that. And then also the Coachella Valley Brewery Comedy Fest Instagram page is also a thing. So you could follow that to see pictures of past comedy fests, when the next festival is going to be, stuff like that. So that's where you could find it.
And I've forwarded many comics will post online where I'm on my way to Palm. Does anybody know if there's a place to perform? And I send them your way.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Thanks for coming out, driving out here.
Yeah, it was fun.
And Amy, anything you want to put out to the internet? Locked in for history? You want to say anything that could possibly blacklist you in the future? Or
Oh, I can say plenty.
Yeah.
I can say so much. But just find me in the usual spot on IG at Wait, what?
Abyssic
I mean, I'm there
Reveries.
on IG for my art account too, Abyssic Reveries. But Shades of Despair is my handle, and then www.abyssicreveries.com is my art site. Although you can find that on IG as well.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And then I'm CKT Comedy on Instagram. Share this and comment on YouTube. And I'm still working on getting the podcast on every podcast streaming platform, but we got to start right here. And then
where are we on? Where can
YouTube.
we find this?
Yeah,
YouTube.
this is
Nice.
YouTube right now.
Very
We're
cool.
focusing on that, but things are gearing up. All kinds of new. I'm learning all the clips
Sweet.
and the editing, and that's actually my new passion. Is I love
Nice.
editing.
Yeah, he's getting so
fun.
good at it.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
I'm
blast.
excited. Excited to see the clips, the short little clip of like conspiracy, like, like the zoom in.
You're like,
that'd be fun.
yeah, it'll be like 5 seconds of like you're like, I don't ever want to see this ever. I don't ever know them.
Yeah.
It goes super viral.
This is an AI podcast. This is yeah.
Yeah, well,
AI Dacoda.
Thank you, Dacoda. We
Thank you.
appreciate you, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye.
Thanks for having me.